around anywhere, all over the internet. It's been speculating everywhere. People have been talking about left and right, all over social media. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? What it is, Joe? What is it? Explain to the audience it's shaking the internet right now globally, and pretty much not globally through the U.S. What do you explain what it is?
Well, I saw about it first on the television. They're talking about TikTok and China and Trump. And basically, the idea is that TikTok could be using Americans' information, and that because TikTok is Chinese owned, uh, Trump wants to crack down on it. And yeah, I was kind of fascinated by it. I was like, I made me think about all the other Chinese owned companies and why did TikTok get singled out compared to any other company that was owned by
Yeah,
China?
the other app that got suspended too was WeChat. I don't even know what the heck that is.
Yeah, I've never
I
heard
just
about
the
that
only
one.
thing I read up on was that WeChat is like a messaging platform for the people from China, and here in the U.S. it's kind of like banned or something like that. Don't know too much about that, but
Well, maybe it's banned here because if you think about it, like the Chinese like to censor and to monitor their people a lot.
mhm.
So if they're monitoring their own people, then why wouldn't they be monitoring the American people? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, yeah, but the idea is the U.S. government monitors its own people
Oh
too.
yeah,
Um,
that
we'll get to that, but like it happens, and so I guess it's just because we're not on the best terms with
no,
China,
no, we're not
you know,
since what happened.
and so yeah, and so I don't know what like I don't know. Did anybody else know? Like, why did this become an issue now? Like, TikTok's been around for many years, and I don't know. Maybe just got on the radar for some reason, or they're just like, anybody know?
No, I really don't know. All I know is that it's TikTok's been around for a while. Now the government, everybody's making a big deal about it. Not sure why it's making a big deal. We're not US is not the only ones making a big deal about this. Is actually also, and I don't know if it's India or Indonesia is making actually a big deal too, because due to a lot of security threats, not security threats, but more like of a security, what do you call it, Joe? It's like a national security.
Oh
It's
yeah,
causing national security, but I don't understand like how is that a national security if the problem is it's not you're not giving the people that much a lot of information for it to be national security. Unless you're posting stuff that you shouldn't be posting on there in the first place, you shouldn't be doing.
yeah. Maybe it's maybe it's because internet users usually post way too much
Could
information,
be.
and so but it's it's I think it also has to do with there's so much going on between the US and China. Um, you know, in terms of Hong Kong, in terms of
W-
who controls the ocean and in the regions around that area, and also the trade wars and currency, and just there's so much tension,
Interesting.
you know. It's just I don't know, you can't point to one thing. It's just they're basically our adversary in a lot of ways, and we just don't. It's like you know we can't even really like agree to disagree. When you usually have like conflicts with somebody,
Yeah.
it's more like I'm trying to not do as much with you as possible, but at the same time we've already like made like entangling alliances with our like companies and everything, our
Yeah, but
financing.
they're not the only company that's coming out of China. Like we talked about earlier today. Who was the other
Yeah.
company that you said?
Oh, it was there was another suspicion that Fortnite with Epic Games, because like a company that owns like 40% of like the parent company was a Chinese
Hmm.
owner. There was some speculation that they could get access to information like backdoor ways, like or like demand information, and stuff that happens behind the curtains that we don't really like see the details of the business as they're dealing with each other. So there's just a lot of suspicion. And I have to say, frankly, I kind of agree with it. You know, I think that China needs to behave a little bit better. The United States has its own problems, and so we can maybe behave better too. But I think as a whole that the Chinese are a little bit more aggressive compared to a lot of our other international partners with commerce and finance and everything. I just feel like they're a little bit more on edge. You know, we just don't communicate well to each other. Like our worldviews seem to be a little bit different in some way.
Yeah.
Like because can you imagine like the way that China is run now? Can you imagine the United States being run that way?
Oh man.
It's like black and white. It's like it doesn't like correlate at
Definitely.
all. You couldn't like try to put Chinese law over the Americans and then vice versa. Like I don't know. I'm not sure if I mean, the Chinese have people critically thought like China has prevented American influence. You know, and so the thing is, America is open to hearing Chinese influence, but it's not going two ways. And that's kind of why there's a huge disconnect with like commerce because commerce is supposed to go two ways. And so that's why the cultural thing, but that's why there's so much suspicion of these apps because if you're censoring your own people and you're asking companies to help censor, well, that means you have access to a lot of information, and then it could go both ways. You censor, but you also grab, and some people it's too much. So I don't really know where I don't we're not like seeing all the behind the scenes of what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, I wonder if they're actually also too selling the information, but the only thing they have as to what we know of is just like emails, phone numbers. They've never asked for home addresses. They ask you what country you're from. And I think that's pretty much all the information they've ever asked. They never really ask a lot too much information. Unless if I'm wrong, guys, if anybody knows what other information TikTok or any other companies ask for, but go ahead and comment down below and like in the comment section, go ahead and comment and let us know if you know what other types of questions they ask. Because like to me, I understand it's national security, but to a certain point, but I don't really see how is it a national like a big security deal unless they're asking you for your like mother's maiden name, those high security questions about yourself, like what's your favorite color and all that stupid stuff, like that would be the national security, but this isn't too much of a national security in my opinion.
Yeah, have you ever used
I have
TikTok?
I use it. It's gonna hurt a lot of content creators that are on YouTube and other platforms. They use LinkedIn and Instagram to build the foundation. Like several friends of mine I met through TikTok, and we've talked to today, and I don't see like a big thing. I do hope that a US company does buy it and TikTok does not get banned. But if not, they could always restart. Could restart a whole new structure if the US company buys it, a brand new login information, and just keep the videos and stuff like that. I don't know how they could
Yeah.
do that, but just reset information and just restart brand new. But pretty much, if you think about it, look, here's another thing is I'm gonna bring up. I don't know if this audience will agree with me or not, but everybody buys from Wish. Everybody buys from Top Hatter. Everybody buys from all those companies in the world, and those companies are from China, from Alibaba, from Shopify. You people do drop shipping, dude. They have all of our information already. I don't know what the difference is between TikTok and these other applications and products that even our stores are actually selling stuff directly to home from China, and we don't even realize that. And they already have our information. So what's the difference from having it on TikTok versus out in public?
Yeah, I guess I don't
But you
know.
see my point? So
Yeah.
I don't see a big difference on like that versus this. I don't understand that, but it's like everybody has everybody's email, even our emails and our addresses and stuff like that are out there in the public, and people sell their information. You can actually when you do affiliate marketing, some people actually go purchase things from things that you subscribe, you put your email to, and they sell that information to another third party, and then you just randomly get an email about that, and you get about a different product
Yeah.
and you didn't even subscribe to, and you're just getting spammed by this email. So that's you just your information got sold to somebody else, and it just keeps going and going and going. I've looked
Yep.
into this, and I've seen that market.
Yeah, I don't really know. It might be that they're being used as a scapegoat in the battle between the U.S. and
I think
China.
so. I think it is. I think this is a big revolution right now between China and America, and I really don't understand like too much why it's they're behaving like this. But I do understand, like, the other countries are doing the same thing. But if how come nobody's brought up the situation like I just brought up? Like, you got Alibaba, you got all these other companies that are doing the same thing. Are those companies going to be shut down too, as well with TikTok? Because
Yeah.
those companies are actually national security, because they're actually asking you for your home address and your apartment, and like, and you're asking for your credit card and debit card, but nobody's making a big deal about that. And if you look at the stock
Yeah.
market,
Yeah.
Alibaba is like really it's in like in the 300s, $300 stuff like that.
Yeah, if anybody wants to tell us, maybe there's something they have some revelation or anything. Um, but I don't know. I just thought about it. I'm like, maybe is it politically motivated? Like in terms of maybe Trump's voter base doesn't use TikTok as much. I'm not really sure. Um,
or
they
it- or it also
it's
could be because TikTok there's a lot of people making fun of Donald Trump. You look at TikTok, you look at
yeah.
Trump. There's a lot of TikTok videos about Trump with his hair falling off, the hair running away. There's his wife running away from him for social distancing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of videos about Trump. So I'm kind of wondering if that might be the reason. TikTok, because TikTok is one of the biggest platforms right now, on top with YouTube and Instagram. So it's growing drastically, and people are just making fun of him. It could be that's
Yeah.
one of the main factors.
And is TikTok a bigger competitor for like what is it, 15 or 30
It's
second
about
long
15,
clips?
30 seconds. It just depends on the audio clip that you actually play on. I've been trying to do some TikToks, but I'm kind of very shy and afraid. It's scary.
I'm wondering, I don't know. Like, I guess because it's not the same thing. It's
Yeah,
not
it's not
YouTube, right?
YouTube.
But I'm not sure. Like, is it easier for something to go
It
viral
is.
there versus
It is.
here?
It's
Or
very
it is?
simple. I posted a video that said free of everything. It was like they didn't have a price. It had like it didn't have a price tag. It had a dollar sign on it, and there was no price on it. So I ran, and even on the other side, it was empty. And my fiance says, "Look, it's for. I think it's free. It's free. There's no name. There's no price on it or anything." So I ran up to it and grabbed clothes and ran off with it. And yeah, it did. It does have a price tag on the clothes, but it was for the TikTok video, and that video actually got a loan, like maybe like I think let me take a look. I think it was like 1,400 on TikTok.
Wow. So like, so they those yeah, like that probably would have gotten like squished in
Yeah, I
YouTube.
got actually that video actually got 1,900, almost 2K
Nice.
just alone on
On
just on
TikTok.
TikTok alone. That's
Did you put it on
I
YouTube too?
did, but it didn't perform nowhere near as did in TikTok, because I've heard that
Yeah.
TikTok, like your a lot of your videos there actually pretend to go viral. It's like it's something with the algorithm with
Uh-huh.
TikTok that it makes it look like it's like millions of people watched it, but they didn't. So, but there's no proof of that.
I see.
I just think,
That does make TikTok a little sketchy for like this whole China talk,
you know,
It's like it's like maybe it's like giving people like false sense of like security,
correct.
right? Like they're really like popular, right? And then they get too I'm just this is like crazy, right? They get too comfortable with TikTok and then they reveal some private information they shouldn't, because they're like, I don't know what like what's the motivation like like the profiteering of making TikTok look better than
But
it
the thing
actually
is,
is.
nobody understands is when you read the fine print, when the contract that you signed, you sometimes you say it does say state in there that you are signing your life away. You are giving away this information for the people to sell. And not many people
Yeah,
realize that when you sign a contract, you should be reading it, not just signing it,
yeah.
because that's what happens a lot. and people don't realize it. There's a contract on a game. I don't know if it was WoW or another game. I forgot. My friend told me. The company actually did this on purpose. They said you're selling your soul. You're giving us your soul to play this game. Like instance that they say that they want you to take your soul, they're able to do it in the contract
Interesting.
on purpose to see if people read it. Nobody's ever
And
posted a video about that contract because nobody's ever read it. The company actually posted that we posted this in there, and nobody's ever brought it up. Yeah, and
crazy.
nobody reads contracts. It's like you could be saying I'm giving you my body, my soul, my everything, and the company comes back and says,
Well, it is true. They're very cumbersome, you know. Like, yeah, it's who nobody has time to even read like more than a
correct,
paragraph or
because
two.
they already want to get straight into the app. They want to start they want to start working. They want to start doing this and that, and they don't like blah 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 blah. It's
There might be some like I don't know, somebody who can do like use AI or just like search, search terms, searching for anything that's pretty messed up,
it's gonna be that's gonna be a process because there's some people that actually the way they word it, and it makes it can be very tricky.
Well, it makes you wonder if whenever you get a new terms of service, can you somehow figure out how to do like control F or something and like you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like just search for some terms that you think are like sell or
yeah,
anything.
it could be. It
Uh,
could be, man. There's no telling on that. But
this ban on TikTok, sorry, TikTok doesn't happen for about 45 days. That's what Trump's executive order says. So it's giving them some time. And you said this too, that there's something about it being like transferred to American
yeah,
hands that it would.
yeah, that's what there was talk about, that Trump wanted an American company to actually purchase the company. And but there has been talk about it, but I don't want to get too far into that, like making a company making a purchase and doing all this extra stuff. More to it. It's either going to be a loss or a gain. There was a lot of they made the vendors back out, not the vendors, but more of the like the advertisers to back away from TikTok because of this national security. But according to TikTok, advertisers don't really go through TikTok to pay. They contact you directly and they pay you directly to sponsor, to show their product on that platform. I just found that out. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's not like YouTube. YouTube, you just get a product and then you show it on YouTube. It's a you select paid sponsorship and voila. And then same thing Instagram, same thing on Facebook. But this is at Twitch. If you're new to Twitch, to TikTok, if you've been on TikTok, that the way to get sponsored there, you contact a sponsor, or they contact you. They tell you to make a video because and then you make that video, you push it out to TikTok, and they get that, and they get links to buy off that product on your social media, like on Twitter. You post a link on there, and it goes viral from there, and you start making money. That's how it is on there, as to what I found out.
Interesting. Yeah.
You want,
It'll be interesting to see what happens with
I
this.
want,
I guess it's something to take our mind off the global problem that's happening right now.
yeah,
So some that's a little bit trivial, not to everybody, because those people who are like making a living off of
yeah.
TikTok. But for me, who's not invested in that platform, it's kind of an interesting game of chess that's going on internationally right now.
We'll keep you all in touch on this topic in the next 45 days. That's pretty much sometime in September, around September 11, in 30 days, to see what's happening.
Yeah, to see if there's any budge on either side,
Yeah, I'm very
any kind of
yeah, I'm
compromise.
very interested on what's going on right now at this point in time. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. We have a new breaking news. More, it's an iPhone 12 faces major camera issues right before their launch, and I've heard several companies, it's happened to several companies, but this is something very, very major is due to what, Joe? What was thing that says something due to overheating and testing on it?
Yeah, it's been cracking because of the high stress, of the heat. And so it's potentially being delayed several weeks because of this. And rightly so. If you know you wanted the development to be off a few weeks to months, if you already have a lot of good Apple phones out there, there's no reason to put a new, not to have like a Samsung problem,
Yep.
which was in the news cycle for
Oh,
months.
that one with the phone battery causing
Yeah.
damage to people's faces and their devices they purchase and lawsuits and all that stuff.
And just damaging Samsung's
Oh
reputation,
yeah, but that was
which I don't think that's going to go away for like 4 to 5 years.
I still I'm afraid to buy a new phone just right when it comes out. I'm afraid of that incident. I'm
Yeah.
terrified. Like no joke. It's like I don't want something to just be right here and bam, just like my face. I'm like death after that. I can't do a podcast anymore because of this. I'm gonna be like, sorry guys, I can't hear from this year.
I was wondering, was that? Do you know? I didn't really pay attention as much. Like, was that like across all the models, or was that just like the higher ones
That
or
was
lower
just
ones?
on the S7s. S7s or S8s. It was just across the board on that model alone because they were testing a brand new battery to long make the battery longer. That's longer. So right now we're still on the same type of battery that we have not really changed the battery. Like
Yeah.
really, and like if it did, it probably jumped like one battery level. We haven't really jumped to a new cell. So all the new battery life that you're saying, oh yeah, we got 16 battery life now, we got 18. It's not because it's a new battery. The battery's still the same. The only thing that changed is just the software and hardware on the performance. So they had to die down a little bit off the performance on eating the battery life because Apple's very strict on that. Apple has when they publish an app, it has to be energy efficient. You cannot use a lot of resources on the battery life. So they're very strict on that, on the policy, on and resources.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Google
I
doesn't. So sorry Google for bashing you on there. I'm a Google fan, guys.
I probably need to see some see some videos and some tests about how big a difference it is between Apple and the competition for draining battery
Yeah,
life.
you would need to do that. I wish we could do test runs on that. Could show that. But I do know that an iPhone will last longer, way longer than an Android or any Google phone. That's definite. That's a given. I don't know if you ever knew if you knew that, Joe.
No, I didn't know
I
that. No.
kind of surprise you in here a little bit every now and then. But
Anything related to Apple, it'll be get me from the side.
yeah, Apple has. I'm not gonna. I give an applause to Apple. Really big deal. That Apple has a great battery life. And after a year or two, pretty much after the battery expires, like you've been using for a while, it starts to die out. As to what I've been told, nobody knows this about batteries. I'm pretty sure. Not, I don't even know if you know, Joe, that you're only supposed to charge your phone once it gets to 100%, and you're done. You're supposed to just unplug it, or charge it to 90, or charge it
Yep.
just to 90% and just unplug it. You're never supposed to get it to 100%.
Really? Yeah, no, my brother probably told me that once before. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough, right? It's like you're using your phone for the day, right? And you only have so much time in the night to charge
Yeah,
it. And you're not necessarily, depends on how fast your charger is, you're not necessarily going to be charging it before you go to bed,
correct.
like completely to 90% or whatever the efficiency is. And then you're like, oh, you fall asleep and then you're charging it over the
And
night.
that's the reason batteries go bad. That's a lot of things that
Yeah.
people don't really understand about that. And
You know what I don't get though? Why doesn't why don't they why maybe that's is that designed? Oh, these aren't smart
yeah,
batteries,
correct,
right? Would smart batteries turn
correct,
off at
correct. They
90%?
turn off like
They
a
do?
95.
So everybody's running around with dumb batteries that just keep
Correct.
charging.
Everybody has it. There's no I
Do
don't
you
know.
know do you have any idea what like the
No,
premium
I
is
don't.
from
Because
oh
us
makes me feel like I don't like to put like all the bells and whistles in a phone, but if I could figure out what tier of money would get me that smart battery, and that's the only feature I care about, that's what I want to figure out.
Exactly. It's because if it was a smart battery, man, your apps and everything would be performing amazing thing. And also too, I don't know if you knew this, Joe, that once your battery starts getting to 7%, your app stopped working correctly. Yeah,
Seven percent.
after like 15 or 10%, like under anything under that, I couldn't tell you because every model is different, but under 15%, your phone starts acting up. It doesn't perform normal. It starts running slower, sluggish. It has not enough battery left to keep running at that performance it was running.
Yeah, my Android has this funny like power saving mode, right? Where you can enable it when you have 100% battery life. You can enable it right then, but it has this funky thing where the top and the bottom bars are like red, like pure red,
Mhm.
right? So it's like I'm using this weird phone, but you could do power saving like all the time.
I used to have that on all the time. And my phone, when you get your phone for the first time, like Samsung, usually they come with battery life enabled, like battery saver. They
Yeah,
already turned a lot of people turned that off because they try to get the performance. I really don't
yeah.
care. I really
But
don't
then
care
you
about the performance. I'd rather care more about the reliability, how
reliability.
long it's gonna last me to the end of the day. That's what I care more. Like I play games every now and then. I'll turn off that feature and I'll turn it back on when I'm done. But
Yeah.
also too playing games. So here's another thing, Joe, that I'm pretty sure this is gonna relate back to this topic that we're talking about, the major camera issues right before launch. The when you're playing games or when you're charging your phone, like we were talking about right now, I was trying to build this up. So as you're building this up with the heat, with the phone overheating because of the processor, the graphics, your screen overheating, I'm wondering if this would also cause a crack on the cameras or any internal components on this device because of the cracks that's causing due to the camera.
Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to mention too that um I guess it's they're trying to test they're taking longer to test the reliability in like harsh tropical environments. Um because I've brought this up before in past podcasts that like my bedroom has been like a furnace, right? So what happens in my bedroom with a computer or a phone is similar to like a tropical, but not quite. You know what I mean? It's like I joke. It's like sometimes it gets like 90 and stuff. So you want these products to work all across the
Yeah,
world.
definitely.
So you need to find a way to make it energy efficient and not have the screen break if you're going to use it in the tropics or an island or wherever, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's so true. And I'm
So
kind of glad that our phones and our devices are actually becoming more and more susceptible to dust, to water, to all that stuff. I'm kind of glad that we're revolutionizing that type of technology to actually help us in case we ever get lost or stuff like that.
well, yeah, and then I don't do a lot of this, but other people, they do travel overseas. And you're going to somewhere tropical. You need your phone to work while you're there. You don't want to be stranded or dependent on the phone systems wherever you
Correct.
are.
Imagine, and also too, including the 5G. If you haven't seen our 5G podcast, our very first one, go back to our playlist and you'll actually see our podcast that we talk about our 5G on how it's going to be revolutionizing the world and how it's going to be implemented. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It'll be in our playlist, either mine or Joe's.
Yeah, yeah, and also the Apple's mentioned that their suppliers, they have two supply lines, so the other supply line didn't have any problems.
Really,
So that was the good thing, that only one of them. So they caught it, and they actually have a backup plan. So it might be delayed, but who knows what the supply is going to be, because there's one supplier didn't have it correctly. So yeah, it's either going to be delayed some, or there'll be less of them at launch.
well, as long as
So we'll see.
the phone gets launched and to get to the people's hands as fast as possible, because some of these people are actually waiting and they've already paid for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they confirmed it at the earnings call,
so
July,
I
late
hope that
July.
nobody's actually spent a lot of money on and been waiting for an extra 8 months or something like that, and the next phone comes out. So
Yeah.
moving on to the next topic, guys. We have the Qualcomm may release multiple light versions of the Snapdragon 875. What do you think about that Snapdragon, Joe? I know you kind of know a little bit about the Snapdragons, don't you?
A little bit, yeah. So oh, it's cool, you know, like it's cool to see even more competition, and you know, the light versions are yeah, I don't know. It's just I was kind of confused because the light version had a higher series number compared to the other one, and so I have to admit that we're talking about APUs here for like phones, and I I didn't know that there were like, I thought like Intel and AMD kind of had like some part in APUs for phones, but as far as I can tell, they're not as much. So if anybody has any information other than that, please educate me, because I like Googled this and I couldn't find like I saw like Qualcomm and Huawei and a whole bunch of other, and Apple manufacturing their own APUs for their phones. So yeah, I, for this, it's just cool to see that more competition. You know, it's always good to see more products released, and yeah, they have
Yeah,
to do it. You
definitely.
know.
They gotta keep releasing stuff. If they don't start releasing stuff, then companies start falling behind. So they gotta quickly push out some new type of products, some chipsets, some screens, things, and the Snapdragon company, Qualcomm, is actually one of the biggest companies in the world. Because they're well known.
I guess yeah, they said like it was in a tweet. That's what it was. They were saying that there's the problem. Well, it was kind of related to the problem too, that the current flagship is too expensive to put into their phones because it doesn't have an integrated modem. So it's lacking some features, and it's priced too
Hmm.
high. So yeah, again, I don't know a lot about uh, phone components, so maybe Renee knows
I know a
more.
little bit. I don't know. I don't know much about Snapdragon. I'm like, Snapdragon is like beyond my payroll right now. I do know a little bit of things about it, but I don't know too much. I just know that one of the biggest companies in the world, that it supports phones, and they're on numerous other devices besides this. But and I know they're always changing the products and releasing something, but they
Yeah. And maybe I'm not sure about the other manufacturers, but Qualcomm says like it has like it's 5G capable X55 modem, so that its phones cost more because of that. So I'm not sure if they're like first to that versus other ones. You know, some might be holding back and staying on 4G longer,
could be.
but
Okay. Besides all this, let's go ahead and pass through this Qualcomm because we're already completely done. So we go to the next topic. We are here. We have a major report that hundreds of apps in the app stores have hidden tracking software used by the government. What do you think about this, Joe? About that there's a hidden software tracking you, and the government is tracking you. How do you feel about this? And you two audience, not just besides Joe here, the viewer guys, if you feel like if you're being hunted down by the government or things like that, you could actually comment down in the comments. And if you or you know that the government is tracking you somehow, go ahead and comment down below in the comments. So, what do you think, Joe, about this? How do you feel about this, or do you think this is true?
I basically I know it's true. I've read articles like that were 10 years old or more that said they were tracking they track a lot of people. They track groups that they think are now like uh suspicious. They move people into different categories. Oh, this social group is more suspicious now, wasn't on our radar 5 to 10 years ago, now we're going to track them more. And yeah, I mean, with the Iraqi war and a whole bunch of other stuff, we've known that they've been doing this forever. And frankly, we give again with those terms of service, and also just you give so much information when you do Facebook or anything else. I just assume that like basically the rule of thumb in my mind if you're posting anything on the internet, or you're typing anything into a search bar or anything, you kind of have to imagine the whole world is watching, you know?
True.
Because sometimes you might get hacked, or there might be some of these companies that do stuff, or somebody hacks that company
Yep.
and then they release this information. So I don't know. I mean, it's all about like how much you can pay for your privacy, because privacy really doesn't come
No,
free,
it doesn't.
you know?
And
So it's like, if you have like see-through walls for your home, which I don't, you have too many windows, well, you're gonna have to pay more for privacy, like tinted windows or something. So it's like, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it depends on what you do on the internet requires different amounts of payment for
and
privacy. There's some free private things, and then there's the paid
and
privacy.
also too, here's another thing is since we're going back to that topic again, that when you signed the contract, you're losing your privacy at times if you don't read the contract. And also too, a lot of Americans, a lot of people don't realize that there's a thing called the Patriot Act. I don't know if you know about it, Joe.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah,
that.
the
Yep.
Patriot Act got act because if you don't know what the Patriot Act is, a Patriot Act is it's a privacy that the government has the ability to be spying on you, listening to your calls and stuff like that. Many Americans don't realize that the Patriot Act actually does that. Has has um has been activated since the 1990s. Since we actually, I think it was the Desert Storm. I think it was in the 90s. Um,
Well, the Patriot Act was like after, like during the Iraqi Afghanistan period, but there might have been something that took its place
I know
prior to
in the
that.
90s, in 1990, when I took law enforcement, it was said that it got activated in 1990
Okay.
because of there was a lot of terroristic threats, stuff like that. So they needed to enhance it. So I don't know if it's been activated before that and they reclosed it, and then now there's been
Yeah, I think the Patriot Act probably strengthened whatever they had in
because I know in
place.
the 1990s is when we act it, that's what I was told. I was like, I can't have proof on that, but like I said, if you guys know anything else more about this, feel free. All I know is in the 90s, in 1990, it actually got activated for to actually listen to phone calls and a lot of tappings and stuff like that, to and actually text messages and emails. Everything got more to actually be able to read and to be able to test and diagnose that that to how is it called, to be able to track down terroristic threats. I tried to yeah,
Wiretapping.
wiretapping, so they really don't need to just say, oh yeah, that's my right. No, it's not. It's been in the 90s. This Patriot Act has been around a lot longer than the 90s.
Yeah, well, like the FISA courts were the recent thing
Correct.
where they could speed up the warrant
Correct.
process.
And like now, it's all they need is just everything's already recorded. All they just need is a subpoena, and they just pull it back, and that's it. And but
Yeah.
right now, according to this Patriot Act, it's been activated. If it's a really terroristic threat, they really don't have. They could like kind of. I think it's, if I'm correct, not 100% sure, they might be able to go around that whole the waiting period for the subpoena.
Well, and one thing, just last thing about like this
Yeah.
whole
Besides, we don't
government
want to go too
tracking
much into
thing
that.
is, yeah, it goes really deep. But as far as what I know, I've heard about like MI6 and the FBI and CIA and stuff, right? That like we we have an agreement with the UK where we spy on their people and they spy on our people, and we exchange information, and by doing that, that gets around the laws,
Correct.
you know? Like if you see like Guantanamo Bay, right? That was them trying to get rid of like US law and say whatever in Guantanamo Bay stays in Guantanamo Bay,
Yep.
like
It's like that's what a lot of people don't realize, that we do have privacy, but we don't have privacy at the same time. But they're just kind of just listening just for keywords. It might be an actual person listening, or it could be an AI listening, and it alerts
yeah.
the staff, the CIA, FBI from any of the countries, and lets them know, like, I don't know, wherever it's hosted, it lets them know that this call has been doing. And I guess if I'm correct, they get a subpoena and then they just look into it.
Yeah. And that has been some of the argument about Apple phones,
Yes.
right? that Apple phones have such good security that Big Brother sometimes says, "I don't like it that you're so secure." Like I'm not sure if did Apple ever give into the government and say, "We're going to give you access to our encryption," or
No, Apple's never given nobody's open for anything. Not even the government. The government got into a lawsuit with Apple, and the government lost. Apple actually won the case.
yeah, yeah, and I guess I got to tell this guys, uh I'm not in favor of you using your like fingerprint well, maybe voice is okay, but they can still do stuff with voice. They could still record it, right? But if you use your fingerprint on your for phone or something, like, did you hear about that creepy case
No,
that
I
happened?
don't. Explain. Want to hear?
There was a criminal case. There was a criminal case with like involving like police and maybe a misconduct by police, maybe shooting or something when they shouldn't be,
Mm-hmm.
and the rumor was, I'm not sure, like I don't know, it became like a pretty big thing that they used the fingerprint of the person, the victim who had lost their life on the phone to then erase information that would show that the police did misconduct.
Really?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I personally, I'm never going to use like a phone print for my phone because I don't want something like that to happen, where the phone could record something that I want, you know? Like, I don't know, the phone companies can get a hold of it or the government or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you don't want individuals being able to access your phone with just your fingerprints. And I think fingerprints in that regard is kind of a step backward instead of a step forward in security.
Yeah.
Because people can. There's other ways of taking your fingerprints
Oh
too.
yeah. There's numerous ways, and it's not just one way. There's like thousands of ways.
Yeah,
When I was
yeah,
taking security class in college, that we did talk about that, about the fingerprints that they and also to the law enforcement and picking up fingerprints, and I kind of just by picking up the fingerprints, it's not even that hard. Me looking at into a now tech guy, and I'm like, man, you can actually use those fingerprints if you pick them up, and then you could reuse them again, like you see on TV. I just don't know exactly
yeah,
how 100%. I don't want to try that, but I'm pretty sure
yeah,
you could do that.
yeah. And for the viewers, the reason why they said they can do this is because they're technically anonymous. They're not like selling your information for commercial gain. It's not for advertising or marketing. So I guess it's within their fine law, the fine eyes of the law. That's how they're quoting it. They're saying it's to keep people safe, and so because they're not profiting from it, that's the loophole.
Yep. Well, that's gonna wrap up that topic. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Google's just releasing another version of AirDrop that's similar to the iPhone. What do you think of that, Joe? Do you think
Oh,
that's gonna?
yeah,
Do
this
you
is
think?
awesome. This is
So, what do you
awesome.
think about this, man? I was like, I know you use a Google phone. I use a Google phone. Our audience and our viewers probably use a Google phone. Not sure if they're paying attention, but this is a big revolution right here that Google is releasing right now. What do you think about this feature?
Well, it's awesome because I've always used like way too much of my bandwidth sending photos, over my text messages. And then many times it goes, but it doesn't actually get there because it says there's too much data to send and there's some like connection
Hmm.
error. So it's like either it sent it and like used up a lot of my bandwidth for the month, or it didn't send it and I thought it sent it, but it takes like for an hour. It takes way long and then it finally tells you it hasn't sent it. So it's awesome that Androids are getting some iPhone features that have been around for many years.
Yeah,
And
the thing is
yeah,
on this, you have three modes to select. You have data, you have wireless, you have data, you have wireless, and you have Bluetooth to select, which is that's no wireless, no internet connection. You'll have those three options. I have it on. It's right now at this point in time. Just to give you a heads up. It's only available. Repeat again. Only available to Pixel and Samsung. Only those two types of phones right now. If you have any other type of phone, it is not available for use right now. Because
yeah. And we checked that out, and I have Android 8 on my phone. I can't remember a moment. I don't have like it's like an off brand of somebody. It's not like a really popular I mean, it was like 160. But yeah, I checked, and I don't have
I had
access
the
to it
Galaxy
yet.
S10, and I have a Samsung Galaxy S10, and I sent it to my fiance. We both have the S10, and we're talking about speed transfers of maybe less than 2 seconds, maybe even less than a second.
And really high
Oh
detail
yeah,
pictures.
we sent. I usually send. I take pictures of 4K pictures, and I send it to her. A picture of my little boy that he did last night, and that was a 4K picture. I sent it to her within a couple of seconds.
And you said it was
Oh,
better quality than what you could
yeah,
do.
what better than what you do when you over take a picture and you message, because here's the thing. Another thing is nobody realizes this. Here's another lesson for the audience. Listen, I don't know if you knew this, Joe, that if you send a picture over text message or a messenger, Facebook, or upload it to a platform, your photo gets degraded. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, how much do you think it
I
gets
couldn't. It
degraded?
gets
Maybe.
compressed to send over the wireless. So the way I usually do is I upload it to Google Drive and I send it to my fiance, and that's how we've been doing it. And also, you could use the NFC. If you use the NFC, you could just put the phones back to back, and you could just transfer it over, and that's another way. But that's, you got to do this, do that, then tap it to each other and wait for it. Now this is wireless; you don't have to get next to too close to each other. So if you're doing the 6 foot distance with this human malware, you want to send it to your best friend like
Yeah,
6 feet away from you, you're more than welcome. You could do that without
yeah,
actually problems. I haven't tried this on a video. I have not tried this on documents or anything, but this right now we've tested it on actually on just a picture. There's no videos. We haven't tested documents or anything like that. Just a picture at full resolution of 4K, and it was really amazing how fast it was and pretty simple. It's just the first time set up on how you want it set up is the only confusing part. We'll probably make an if you want a video of this, comment down below and let me know if you want me to show you on how to set up the nearby right? It's called nearby share.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nearby
if
share.
you want me
Yeah,
to explain a little bit more about nearby share, I'll make a video on that and I'll show you guys on how to properly use it. And I'll help you guys on how to set it up and explain details to you more. It's pretty simple, plain straightforward. But if you want help, I'll be glad to hold your hand and actually show you how to do it on a video.
yeah. And so this should be rolling out in like a few weeks to a few
Yeah, onto
months.
the other devices.
Yeah, I mean, if it's already on your Galaxy, then it's probably coming, within a month or something to
Yeah, to the
Android.
other platforms. Because just I didn't really realize that there was like two different types of operating systems. Like really, I thought it was just the Samsung, and that's the same operating system to every single platform. But according to my theory, I was wrong 100% of 100%. That that Samsung is its own OS, and you have different each company has its own OS too. So and they call those
Yeah,
Android.
yeah, and that Microsoft was prioritizing, or Google was prioritizing their own stuff first, of
Correct.
course. But it's good that everybody else will eventually get
Yeah,
it.
and I'm kind of glad. I think it's gonna revolutionize the world. So, what do you think the difference is between AirDrop versus nearby share? What do you think is gonna revolutionize, or do you think they're exactly the same in your opinion, Joe?
I would have to say I think they're exactly the same. I just don't know because I don't have experience with either of them. I've never owned like an Apple phone, so I never experienced the original, the AirDrop. And I haven't experienced the nearby share. But I think it's just going to be awesome because again, I've already told you how horrible sending a picture through or a video through text is.
I do a lot of
So
AirDrop, and I like it. It's pretty
yeah,
simple, pretty fast. Um, And I don't know if it's that secure, but I really don't send confidential information on there. I just usually send thumbnails between my laptop, my desktop, and in photos whenever I edit or videos. I've done stuff like that, but videos take a long time. So, and I've tested with the Galaxy S10, tested that Note with the transfer, and it seems like pretty dope. It seems almost has the exact same speed, but the only difference is with the Samsung, you actually have 3 options to send it to, and the iPhone you don't have that option. You do have the option
Yeah.
to send it to only contacts, only this, that's it. You don't have the option to actually select Wi-Fi, data. You don't have that option. If I'm incorrect, guys, you could actually comment down below in the comments and let me know and correct me. I'm willing to learn from you guys. If you know more about this airdrop or nearby share, you feel free to comment down below. I'm willing to take suggestions or ideas because right now we're all always learning. I'm learning, Joe is learning, and so are you guys. And I'm willing to try to make sure that we all are 100% and giving the right information to every single person out in the world because not many people know anything about technology, and we're trying to give you the latest information that's out there and the best.
Yep. Yeah.
We want to make sure you get the right information and taught correctly because you don't want to be taking shortcuts because life don't have shortcuts. So besides going further than that, let's go ahead and go to the next topic, which is the really interesting one. I really like this idea, and I think Joe might like this idea too. I hope you do, Joe. It's a Firefox Reality VR web browser comes into PC in the preview version. What do you think about this VR web browser?
Well, if again, I think I've said my opinion on like VR. I think it needs to like get like really high definition before I become like a user of it. But I know my brother likes VR. He's got the Vive, and yeah, he uses Firefox a lot. So it'll be cool. The more tools you have when you're doing outside of different games, you could have VR for a lot of different like meetups.
Yeah, I do like it. I think it's a good idea. It's right now. It's at the time. It's featuring support for the Oculus Quest, Oculus Go, HTC Vive, Focus, and the Pico standalones. And I think it might revolutionize anything. I think this might be the new VR for actually reading documents online. What do you think about that, Joe? Do you think this would actually help out reading documents clearer?
Oh, I don't know. That I mean, it might. I mean, that might be kind of cool.
Like if you think about it, back in the day, most people actually just pull up a document and they would just be like this on a piece of newspaper like that. Imagine now just wearing goggles and just goggles or glasses and then just reading a paper like if you were do back in the day with the newspaper. You just swipe your hand
Yeah.
and just it's like a piece of paper you're reading and you just have the whole paper document there like 3-4 pages long or whatever. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I think that this could be a new revolutionize.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And then I would love it, what's it called, like Google, like voice to text and reading. I would love more for the VR experience, I'd like it more if it I'd really be a proponent of VR if it pushed a lot of text to voice, you know, where a lot of articles, it could be read in some kind of voice
Yeah,
because there's so many like articles you're like, oh yeah, I can read this, but at the moment I don't want to, you know, and that capability is out there. It's just not available, you
mm,
know. It's just not like maybe it's not valued as much by a lot of
yeah,
people, but I love like when articles can be read to me or somebody sends me a paper or a poem or something and I can have it read to me instead of having to always read out
yeah.
loud. Like, you like to read it out loud. You like to read it with your own eyes, but like it's nice sometimes to have other things. So anything that like you said, it's kind of cool, be able to like read a book in your bed without using your hands or something, or you're just like, or for people who are like disabled in some way,
Correct.
it can help them, and function a little bit
Like
better.
here in the article, it states too that Firefox Reality PC review supports standard 2D web browsing, 360 video, and immersive content. So that's gonna be. I really do like this stuff. Like it to me, it seems like a good thing compared to what like if you haven't seen the previous podcast too as well about the brain implants that what's his name was saying this guy's name
Oh,
Elon
Elon
Musk was
Musk.
saying implanting brain chips into your brain so you can listen to music. So I think this is a lot more revolutionized, that this is more possible, a better solution than actually using putting stuff into your brain and upgrading and getting
Yeah.
probably brainwashed by the government.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a cheaper solution. It just I've seen, the skeptics are like, well, it hasn't been widely adopted as
Mm,
much, and I think that's because there needed to be more things like this.
yeah,
Like build it and they will come. They have to have the features, otherwise, they're not the person who buys your VR headset. It's not necessarily going to be programming all their ability with the VR.
yeah, definitely true.
Not the Wild West.
Yep, definitely.
So like any platform that continues to improve and continues to offer more features than someone else, that's why people are going to gravitate to them. And maybe this will, increase the VR market by 1% or 2% or something.
Yeah, because this doesn't have to be too much into the intense virtual reality that what me and Joe talk about all the time, like video game wise. But this could be just a plain simple VR. Plain simple VR doesn't really need intense graphics, intense this and that. Just higher CPU, and just more memory, just to support the stability of web pages and content, and maybe a few videos, but nothing too extreme. Like we're not talking about you're gonna play World of Warcraft or WoW. No, WoW, Warcraft. They're both the same product. WoW and like Call of Duty, or you know Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto. You're not gonna play those games because those require a high intense CPU with graphics. But for this, it's just something, probably maybe just something simple, more, a little more intense, so you can actually do a little bit of VR functioning. And I think this would be a good step up to the world and introduce it. But hopefully people don't get sick of this. I don't know if you know this, Joe, that people cannot watch 4D movies.
Oh,
Yeah, they
4D.
can't.
No, what is
4D,
4D
you just
actually?
put on regular glasses, and it lines up the image, and it brings the image up forward. You never watched
Interesting.
Avatar 4D?
No, no, I didn't.
3D, right? The 3D is when they put the red and blue glasses.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've
Okay,
done it
well,
before.
4D
Yeah.
is when you put regular glasses, and they're like pixel glasses, and then it brings out the image. It layers the images. The images are layered, so it looks like the avatar or the animal or the creature or whatever the image is. It's popping out. It looks like it's coming towards you. Instead of seeing it red and blue, you're seeing it in color, and it's coming like at you directly. And now the 5D is coming out. I don't know if you knew about that. It's where they actually
No.
spray water. They actually spray like a little smoke next to you and stuff like that. So you actually feel like you're in the theaters. That one I haven't heard people get sick of, but I know 4D people get sick. Their brain cannot comprehend, and their eyes don't cannot focus correctly. It hurts their eyes.
And we don't know like what type of person is more susceptible
Correct.
to it. Like, is it if you have vision problems or other
Correct. This
things or
actually has been shown that when 4D came out, it has diagnosed a lot of people with certain type of sicknesses. Yeah, and it's actually helped um, figure out a lot of stuff about people's minds, and like stuff that they've never even knew about people. So it's something new,
interesting?
revolutionizing. So I wonder how this new virtual VR is actually going to play into effect, because not many people have played VR. Because I know back in the
Yeah.
day that old computers used to do VR, but they were never intense. Like today VR is like really intense. You could play a lot of high games and stuff like that, and it's so real. But you need a real high end machine to play these stuff.
Yeah. And me personally, I would need the CPU and the GPU to get to the point where the VR headset would be doing like 4K 90,
Yeah,
because you need 90 frames to do VR, without getting motion sickness. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'd be kind of curious as to see what kind of you know, like depending on how close up, with these texts, with reading the text with this the browser, you have to have a certain number, you have to have a certain resolution to see the text clearly.
yeah, definitely.
So hopefully what we currently have, I mean, because there's text in some of these VR games, but I haven't seen a lot of videos about uh I think that's been a problem, maybe that the text is kind of hard to read in some games, but I'm not sure. Anybody you want to tell me in the comments, or Renee knows anything?
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Never.
So
I've only done VR one time. I know whenever I played
yeah,
that VR game, I couldn't even see a text. Like they just say the text was like in my eye, it was like this big, and I really couldn't even see it. I couldn't even focus on it because it was too blurry. So I don't know why it was too blurry. I just don't know. My brain couldn't focus on it correctly. But everything else I could see correctly. It's just the words I couldn't. Not sure. Like I said, not sure why. When I did the
yeah,
VR, it could be something wrong with my eyes, my brain. I God knows what's wrong with me.
yeah. But yeah. So again, I'm pretty picky. I'll be a very late adapter, but I might when it gets to 4K 90, and the price comes down, I might jump on. Like, like we talked about those spacesuits getting
Oh
lighter,
yeah,
right? I I need the VR headset to be lighter, because if it's too heavy, it just ruins the
correct. Also, too, if
experience.
you haven't
I don't want to be wearing a spacesuit when I'm wearing VR.
and also too, if you want to look at that podcast, we talk about astronaut space suit with AI just helping design. You'll see in the description and stuff. You'll see in the playlist, and go ahead and take a look at it. And hope you all do enjoyed that video too. But like Joe's saying, like I like VR has come a long way, and like he doesn't want to wear like a big giant bulky suit with wires running all over himself.
Yeah, like if they could totally get VR to be like almost completely wireless, that would be awesome.
My question is, because right now at this point in time, VR, you're not walking on a platform. On a walking platform, they should make the floor be able to move if you're moving.
Well, they do have some of those, but it's kind of expensive. Have you ever seen, like, there's like it's basically like a 360 treadmill,
No, I don't know
basically.
anything about that.
Oh, I should pull that up for you later. But like, you guys look it up. There's like this. I saw it like maybe 4 years ago or something, and one of the Shark Tank guys was trying to. He bought into that idea and was trying to push that everywhere. And it was just, I think it's too expensive, and maybe it got some traction. I'm not sure if it's still selling, but it was pretty cool because you could. That's the whole point of VR is I didn't want to give up. Like, I wanted to be like running or like walking in the game,
Huh?
right? And you could actually walk on the treadmill. You had to like wear a special type of shoes, and then it basically had like like treadmills kind of have like
Yeah.
some arms. It kind of had like a place where you can walk in, and then there's like some support bars around it in case like you need to like catch your balance, or for, if you're running or
Yeah.
whatever. But like, that was cool because I don't like the current VR where you have to do like teleportation by like clicking a
Oh yeah.
button, or like stuff like that. I don't like that, but I would, when it got cheaper. I haven't been able to afford it, but I would definitely buy that treadmill VR, because that's pretty cool. Like running in Call of Duty or whatever.
I explained this to my friend one time. He said I was crazy. I told him, it'd be good. It'd be awesome if you could put on a jumpsuit, and
Yeah.
in the jumpsuit, you could actually feel 5D. Remember I told you about the feel?
Oh yeah, like
Correct.
vibrations
And
and
inside the suit, that actually, whenever if you get shot, you get like a zap, like kind of
yeah,
like a you kind of make it feel like if you're in the game. But my friend said I was
yeah,
kind of crazy on the idea of that would bring VR into a whole new level. Like you could actually feel things. Something in the game, like, oh man, I died. Instead of that, you actually get like kind of a little,
yeah.
like kind of little.
Yeah, you would definitely have to sign a waiver for that one.
Correct. I think that'll be fun. I think that would be more
Yeah,
fun than actually playing the VR and you don't know what happens to you.
yeah. I mean, you definitely have to sign a waiver, because I'd be like, it's kind of like not quite like torture. It's like you're letting yourself get a little bit of stimulation. Like you have to,
Correct.
yeah.
And we're not talking about real bad the type. We're talking more like little jolts, like just like a.
Yo, I know, but it would still probably
Correct.
be like 18 plus, 18
Yes.
plus or
I
something.
think, but I think
Is the next VR
I
experience. You have to
I
jump
think
up. You
I
gotta
think this
wait.
this is something that should be coming out, but I don't think they're gonna push it out anytime soon. And I
Yeah,
wish that this would come out. And
yeah.
I told my friend about that. I was like, man, we should work on that. He's like, no, shut up. That's not possible. I was like, we are not gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like that idea. I like the treadmill idea. Um, and there was one other idea that I was thinking about that I just totally forgot. But yeah, like making VR that cool. Gotta wait a little bit. You know, let all the other people who are excited about VR the way it is right now
Oh,
use it.
definitely, man. Definitely. Enjoy it and everything, man. Just right now, whatever we got, enjoy it because this is all making history. Be part of history,
Yeah.
enjoy it, and take many steps as you can in life. And that's gonna pretty much end the podcast. So go ahead, Joe. Tell them what they are about to earn at the end of every podcast.
Well, guys, we are doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway for a year. This is the the
I
fourth
think so.
month.
Correct.
This month is a $20 gift card. You can enter with the Gleam link below in the description. It's so we're hosting it through Gleam. I do a random draw at the end of the month. You have 2 weeks to enter it. Like respond to my email that I send out to you. So because you give me my email and I send it out to you. I don't take all your information. I only use your email for the contest. And then I put the winner up on all my platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Gleam will show it the link. And then after 2 weeks, if they don't respond, then I re-roll another winner, and then I keep re-rolling every 2 weeks until I get a winner. And the other three winners have claimed their prizes already, so it does happen, right? And then I'll just keep re-rolling it. If it takes me months to get the prize out, I'll just keep re-rolling it. But so the easy to do it. You subscribe, you answer a question, you share with friends, and then get a little bit of member appreciation for being part of our podcast and part of our channels.
And also,
You help us grow.
guys, like what he said, I'm gonna say it like twice. We are not selling your information. We are not selling your information. We
Yes, we are. We don't even look at your information at all. We just send you an email.
That's it.
And,
You will never hear
hi.
from us again. Promise you. You will never
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah,
You will
won't
never
hear
get
from
spam from us. You will never do anything. I promise you guys. We do not sell your stuff. We delete it.
Yeah. Yeah. And YouTube's also like getting rid of emails. That was a recent update. So
Thank God.
so you get more notifications just through like the email apps and the YouTube apps. But so there's the giveaway, guys. We also always appreciate if you guys could like the video, subscribe, share with friends, comment about anything that we've already talked about. If you want to start a conversation with us or with any other viewers, and yeah, we'll see you
Yeah.
next
So
week.
guys, I hope you enjoy. Like Joe said, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next weekend. Next weekend we'll be on Joe's channel. So,
Yep. And I might be wearing sunglasses, not sure, or I might keep this photo going. It's been next week. It'll be about like 2 weeks since my last eye surgery, so we'll see what happens.
no, just keep Joe on your prayers. He should be feeling fine next weekend if you keep prayers.
Oh yeah, and Renee, can we share about what happened to you this weekend, last weekend?
Yeah, we could do that. Sorry guys for this past weekend. If you missed our podcast, my fiance just had the baby, so we really kind of didn't get to do it. And Joe was not feeling too well too, so we were trying to plan for still do a podcast while we were at the hospital, but it didn't go very well because I was so busy, swamped, and Joe was not feeling too well. Is that about right, Joe?
Yeah, I was in a lot
So
of
we were
pain.
both kind of like we were both offset off each other, and we really couldn't do it. We were planning for Saturday, but he wasn't feeling too well. Sunday he was starting feeling better. I was released from the hospital, and I couldn't really do the podcast. So there was kind of a mixed up. So we did, like I said, we did have a baby. My fiance did have the baby girl. So hope y'all do. Sorry for missing that podcast, you guys. I don't know what's more important to you guys, the podcast or a baby, new life, and a new life into this new world, this crazy world happening right now. Pretty sure y'all know.
No, but that I just want to say congratulations,
Thank
Renee,
you.
and to your fiance. It's awesome. This is your third
Correct.
child, so it's super awesome when new life comes into
If you
the
haven't
world.
if you haven't subscribed to my vlog channel, my daily life, go ahead and subscribe to it. It's RJ Everett Vlogs. It's in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. Take a look at it. I'll be posting some videos coming up soon, and the baby will be coming up shortly in the next few months. I'm behind, but been working a lot on this podcast stuff, and I kind of fell back on that channel. So if you still haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. RJ Everett Vlogs, and you'll see more of the baby in there. So I'm glad.
Yeah,
Juanjo?
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm kind of excited too, because I haven't even thought of, I've been thinking about an intro on how to make the baby's announcement. I haven't even done it yet. Like the other baby, Roger, I actually made a very nice intro. If you haven't seen it, it's in there. It's us sitting on the couch, and you'll actually see him welcome home, and you'll actually see the intro on how I made it. It's pretty sick. It took me a little while to design it. It took me about 4 days to actually make that intro.
Yeah. So yeah, just so you guys know, it's always family first, and then business.
I tried that. I tried doing both at the same time,
Yeah.
but except that
Yeah.
both of us were on opposite sides of the page. So this
Yeah.
time around,
Yeah.
but we will promise we'll keep on this podcast like every weekend. There's not going to be no more delays unless one of us really gets sick or we're dying or we get into the ICU. But I really don't see any of that happening, Joe.
Yeah.
So, but we will see you guys next time. So have a good day and enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys next Saturday. So